WFUZ-TV, Coastal Alabama, Northwest Florida, the People's Voice.
All right, everybody, welcome to WFUZ-TV. I'm Thomas Jenkins, and I have with me Blair Castro. We're in my hometown of Picayune, Mississippi, with my hometown mayor, Jim Luke. Jim, thanks for joining us today.
Glad to be here. Glad to be here with you, Thomas.
So we talked a little bit beforehand, and our podcast has been talking to different political candidates where we are in Gulf Shores and Orange Beach, and the hot topics are traffic flow and growth. And when I talk to people, whether I'm at a council meeting or whether I'm talking to a candidate on the podcast, I always mention that law enforcement and emergency service infrastructure is absolutely vital before you outgrow your emergency services. You can't have all this commercial growth and then have your emergency services not come probably past it, if not at least in tandem with it.
Absolutely. People want to visit, retire or come where they feel safe.
Yeah.
And I agree with that 100%. And of course, you know my background. I'm a former police chief for 8 years, a former city manager for 10 and a half years, and now mayor starting my second term. So I've been on a blessed journey, but yes, in 2024, we built a new public safety and court area in our city, and it's just been a wonderful thing for our city. We've got a great police chief, Joe Quaid. He's doing a great job. He's leading our department he's already state accredited and leading it to national accreditation. And again, what does accreditation mean? It means accountability. And people want a police department that's accountable to the people that they serve. And we have a very low crime rate in Picayune, Mississippi. We've got a great police department. And again, I'm very proud, having been a former police chief at that department, to have somebody of Joe Quay's quality. Having a great police chief is the first step. Having a great facility for them to work out of is very, very important. They were in a facility that was built in the 70s, and it was great when they built it, but it was just adequate. Yeah. But over the years, it became inadequate because it was just too small, and it just wasn't keeping up with what we have to in the 21st century to fight crime.
Yeah, I remember working in that building. So you were my police chief around about 2004 and 5, and before that, I believe you were the school resource officer when I was in about middle school, if I remember.
That's correct. I worked at the schools. I was director of safety and security and a school resource officer, as you remember, and I did that for about 8 years. So, like I say, I've been on a blessed journey, and it continues. I just was reelected April 1st.
Beautiful. Congratulations.
I was reelected for my second term as mayor, and it's just an honor. I feel like that I'm a public servant. I believe in trying to help the people. And one thing I would mention is, a lot of people, and I'm not saying whose opinion is right, but I had the opinion it was time for Picayune to grow. And so I picked a slogan when I ran the first time as mayor in 21. I picked a slogan, moving Picayune forward, because Picayune kind of stayed the same for 50 years. It didn't really grow. It's still a nice hometown, but, not very attractive to try to invite people to come here and shop here and visit here and retire here, But and grow we did, and be happy to explain to you some of the things that we did,
So let's go back to around 2005. That was just post-Katrina, and I was working there, and you were going through all of these steps to get the apartment accredited through CALEA. And so what was the catalyst for that? And I remember our SOP was based on a model from Yazoo City Police Department. Is that correct?
Well, Slidell, Louisiana Police Department. That was really the model because it's only like 20 minutes south of us here, And the person that was leading that was from Picayune, and so invited me down to take a look at it. And getting accredited was one of the best things we ever did, because up to that point we had hundreds of thousands of dollars in lawsuits because the department was not doing everything and being accountable. And I think the first 2 or 3 years, I don't think we had one lawsuit.
Nice.
Because it's about the police department being accountable to the people that they serve.
Absolutely. And so that came, restructuring the police systems came before the commercial growth.
That's exactly right. First of all, we had to present a city that was, that would make you want to stop, get off here, visit. In other words, a city that's open for business. It was grown up out on the interstate. For those that are not familiar with Picayune, Picayune is right on Interstate 59, about 45 minutes north of New Orleans. Lots and lots of traffic. But the only reason that the traffic would stop here, if maybe they had to go to the restroom or something like that, but the exits were all grown up. And so I proposed, as the new mayor at that time, to adopt the exits, where the city actually owns the exits.
Okay.
Because, no issue with the Mississippi Department of Transportation, but they would cut the grass about once or twice a year, and we cut it every 2 weeks.
Okay.
And we cleared out all the growth and undergrowth and things like that was blocking. And the only reason that you knew Picayune was here, when you drove by, you could see the top of Walmart, the roof of Walmart, and that was not very inviting to people coming through here, And so we adopted the exits, we landscaped the exits, and if you might want to take a look at it, we built beautiful signs welcoming you to our city.
They're very impressive.
Yeah, and it's got supported with 3 flag poles behind them. There was no signage before. And so it kind of makes you now, where when you see the beautifully landscaped entryways into Picayune, to see those signs welcoming you in.
A lot of things that we hear when we bring up traffic issues locally is consult ALDOT. Everything is the state. So you say you adopted the exits from MDOT. What was that a very taxing process, or was that pretty straightforward and easy to do? And I guess another follow-up question to that would be, how do you work with the state to get things done in a timely manner when you have the concern of citizens with things like traffic flow? Right.
Well, I started as city manager in 2012, trying to adopt the exits, and actually as the new mayor, I was able to provide the leadership in getting the votes to adopt the exits. How many years later? In 2021. So it was a process that we had to go through, and some people didn't want to adopt them because we would be responsible for the lights. Those are the main entryways in, and they're well lit, and they didn't want to pay the light bill.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I felt like that businesses that it would bring, the people that it would bring, the growth that it would bring, and having an economic corridor close to the exits and everything, that was a small price to pay, and it was.
Yeah, it seemed to work for sure.
It's worked here, and that was a program that Department of Transportation started years ago where you could adopt it. And we did our research, and we found that people were adopting their exits, and so that they could welcome people to their community.
That makes sense, yeah, for sure. So when you were bringing as chief, when you were bringing the department into accreditation, did you face, was it a fight to do all that and get the funding and resources from the city at that time? Did you face backlash versus, no, we just want to grow and invest in commercial growth of law enforcement's fine?
Actually, it was an easier sell than the accountability thing.
Yeah.
The reduction in insurance costs and things like that
Okay,
from
yeah.
being accountable police department. There was a bit of resistance from the officers because being accredited is like anything else. It's work.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's work to be accountable. Not everybody was just thrilled with having to do more work.
Right, I can only go 10 over the limit with my lights on. What is this?
But in the end, the same people that were a little critical when we first embarked on becoming accredited, they were ones that praised it the most after it was completed, and every one of them supported accreditation.
That's good, yeah. It's good to have a good system in place.
Right, exactly.
I wanted to ask you about your award that you just won in December, I think it was. Can you tell us a little bit about, it seems like you've already done this, I can see why you won it, just given what you're talking about now, but what do you think were the reasons that you were awarded this?
Well, first of all, I would give credit not to myself, I would give credit to the team of people that I assembled, or that I would give a lot of credit to the city council that was elected. And I give a lot of credit to the staff that we have here. We have a great city manager. We have a great special projects person, grants persons, things like that. It takes a team. I mean, it's not about one person. It's about a team of people, like-minded people that want to move Picayune forward. And I was able to assemble that, and got one of the greatest teams. Everything I did, even in law enforcement, when I was the police chief, the team we had was a great team.
It was.
As I said, we went through Katrina.
Mm-hmm.
One of the worst nations disaster in history came right out of the storm, came through Picayune.
Mm-hmm.
It took a great team to meet that challenge.
It did.
The city manager to grow the city and build parks and different things like that, and as mayor to continue that, it just takes a great team of like-minded people.
Yeah, that was crazy because the population and the crime just exploded overnight after that storm.
Right. Picayune is a town of roughly 12,000 to 13,000 people. After Katrina hit, we had never had looting in Picayune, Mississippi, small town and all of that. But after Katrina, we had looting, and I can tell you, never did I dream that on the 7th day after the storm that I'd be meeting with President Bush, who toured the area, and say, Mr. President, we need your help. And I have to say this, he gave us help. They came from Virginia. They came from Tennessee. They came from North Mississippi. They came from Jacksonville, Florida. We needed help so our officers could have a break because they were working 7 days a week without rest or even knowing if some of their own homes had been destroyed. So that help was great, and President Bush, on 7 days we were on our own, and after that they came from all over the country, our brothers and sisters in law enforcement, to help us.
That's awesome. I was in Hattiesburg. I had just gone back to school, and the storm hit.
Yeah.
That was wild. In Hattiesburg, we were without for 2 weeks without power. Never seen anything like it.
Well, when I was in high school, they had a lady storm come through called Camille.
Yeah.
And that was like an adventure when you're a senior in high school and you're missing school and all that.
Yeah, it's not so fun anymore.
But as police chief, when the nation's worst natural disaster came calling, that was a real challenge. But we met that challenge because of great police officers and great fire department and things like that. Public safety has to be number one, and I made it number one when I ran for mayor.
Yeah, and you've definitely made that the example that I've tried to take with me when I've worked at other agencies and talked with other people, for sure.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you don't have a strong public safety, it's hard to it's hard to move the city forward. For instance, I'll give you just, for instance, we built the new police department on the north end of the city. I don't know if you've seen it yet or not. Okay, but on the north end of the city, which is where we're experiencing the most growth and probably will for the next 10 years, on the north end of the city, we built the police department. It's a beautiful facility. It's got all the technology that you need in the 21st century to do business. And now, at the same time, I was trying to sell Rouse's grocery stores to come to Picayune. And they were kind of sitting on the bubble. And I said to the representative from Rouse's, which is, I think they have like 65 stores at that time. I said, we want you to come here and all that. We'd like to have another grocery store. And they were trying to think about whether they wanted to come here or not. And I said, what if we were to build 40 feet out your back door, a public safety department next to none, a $7 million facility? They called me 3 days later and said, we're coming to Picayune. And they did. So when you travel before you leave here today, I would challenge you to see the beautiful Rouse's Shopping Center that's been built right in front of the new police department. And I can't tell you, there's a new subdivision not very far from the police department that they just started last week. There is businesses on a new Highland Parkway that are looking at locating in that area, and they want to be close to public safety.
Yeah.
They want to be close
That's
to the
reasonable.
police department.
Got to protect your business assets.
And so if you have a nice facility and an accountable police department close by, that's a selling point.
For sure.
It seems like there's been a lot of changes during your first term as mayor that are good changes. Have you ever got any kind of pushback for that, or people that don't want the change?
Oh, absolutely.
What has that been like?
Well, most of the time it's about spending money, and I understand that, and it's about taxes and things like that. But again, I feel blessed because I have a great team that has went after money through grants and just to give you for instance of a few of the things, and I'll hit on it very quickly. One of the first things we did, we had a playground that, perhaps 10 kids could play on, and built, and it was a great playground when you didn't have a playground. And it was built with the community. The community came together and built it, and it was a great idea, and it down at our Friendship Park, but it was time to move forward. And so we applied for a $1.9 million grant, and we received that grant. And we built a $650,000 playground. It's one of the top 3 in the state of Mississippi.
Wow.
Through that grant, through the state and through the government. And also now we put synthetic turf on the ball field where you can play whether it rains or not, and have added 2 new restrooms to Friendship Park, and we have one of the premier parks in South Mississippi. So we were blessed there. We've added restrooms to other parks that we have, and that's made them more inviting. It's all about quality of life issues. We didn't have a dog park. We'd get on Facebook and we'd see, well, why don't I have to go to Hattiesburg or Slidell or the coast to go to a dog park? Well, we found we owned the property, and all it is to build a dog park is putting up a fence around it if you own the property. And so we got some local businesses to pay for the fence. And then our public works department built some things for the dogs to play on and stuff like that. So practically cost nothing for the city.
Wow.
And now we have a dog park on the north end for large dogs, and we just built one at the end of the boulevard for small dogs.
It sounds like you got a great community cooperative going with the city.
Oh yeah, and they've seen the growth, and they're enjoying those quality of life, like the playground, like the dog parks, and they're seeing changes, positive changes. For instance, this city hall that we're sitting in right now.
Yeah.
We built that in 2013. Next door is the one we built in 1938.
Yeah.
Great place, beautiful city hall. But now we have a new city hall on this end of the building. We connected the two, so it's been just a great ride. We've been able to make a lot of changes, and most of them again have been done with grants.
How big is the patrol area in square miles? I remember it being like 7.5 miles square. Has it grown?
It's grown a lot. I can't tell you exactly how many. It's more like closer to 18.
Wow.
And we've annexed. That's another thing that we've done.
Quickly and efficiently?
Well, we've annexed, for instance, on the south end toward, as we know, is Nicholson.
Mm-hmm.
We've annexed down there and annexed the Love Truck Stop.
I saw that, yeah.
Also, if you drive north to Carriere, Mississippi, which is a small community and everything, we've annexed the Carriere exits.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And we're looking at other annexations. So we've annexed quite a bit locally and everything. And so we just continue to look for ways to grow and build new subdivisions and invite people to move here.
That's awesome. So how many, when I was doing it, that was 4 officers, 2 supervisors, 2 patrol. How big is the shift these days?
I'm going to have to let you talk to Chief Quave about that, but I'm not even sure myself, but I would assume that we probably, total department side, we have about 65.
Wow, that is quite a bit of growth since I've been in it, for sure.
Right. And so and some we lost because they moved dispatch to a central dispatching area now. So now down in the county building, which is a couple of blocks down, you have central dispatch, and all our dispatchers, city and county, are together now in dispatching for the whole county and everything, and that's been a good thing.
Very cool.
Everybody can communicate with everybody, especially if you have an emergency or something like that, or a storm.
Yeah, interdepartmental coordination. So where I was in Louisiana, the sheriff's department didn't even like our department, so there was no guarantee the backup was going to come, and it was solo patrols.
Well, one thing, again, that's been a great blessing, Chief Quave came from the sheriff's department. Mm-hmm. He worked back for me back when I was police chief, but then he moved to the sheriff's department, so he's got about 20 years of being with the sheriff's department. So it's a great partnership.
Yeah,
and that's good for everybody.
Yeah, I've been watching y'all online, just thriving here. It's great to see.
Yeah, but it's an exciting time in Picayune. I mean, for instance, we've made 4 trips to Washington, D.C. to lobby for money to build a frontage road. And I call a frontage road an economic corridor. Mm-hmm. And we've been very successful. I think right now we bought in more than $6 million.
Wow.
And a lot of people are against grants and things, saying, but what I hear when I go to mayor conferences, we'll turn them down, because we'll be glad, our cities will be glad to take your place, because y'all got millions and millions of dollars in grants. And that's the way to go, because they pay 80% and we pay 20%.
Oh, wow.
To have, these things.
Mm-hmm. So the city pays 20%?
like grant matching money,
Yeah.
and then usually it's at 80%.
Okay, yeah.
You know, and so that's a pretty good deal where I come from.
I tried to sell that where I was. I found a USDA grant, and they would have paid
Right.
75% of a new police station, which we badly needed. I didn't even have a protective fence around it, and
Right.
picked up shell casings that were in my open line of fire that had just been fired on
Right.
the call that I went to, and they just all but laughed it off at the city council meeting. But you know,
Well, what do we know about mayors and city council? They don't want to increase taxes, because if you increase taxes, that probably isn't the best way to get reelected, you know.
yeah,
But there's another element out there that wants to be safe, and they want quality of life issues. They don't want to have to drive from here to New Orleans to shop, or from here to the Gulf Coast to shop. They'd rather shop right here. So that frontage, I-59 North Frontage Road, will be an economic driver and give us more money, maybe to pay your police better or your fire department better and things like that, where you can retain quality people.
that's the big issue, is retaining and being able to draw from a better quality hiring pool.
Yeah, because just to give you, for instance, we were at a point in the police department where we would lose, every 2 or 3 weeks, we were losing officers. And it costs a lot to train officers, you know, and get them here with the experience of knowing, you know, the city and everything. And since we built a new facility, I think you'll find out from our police chief, we've had little to no turnover.
Nice, yeah.
So you're retaining that experience, you're retaining people that have worked in the community, know the community and things like that, which is a great thing for the city.
Yeah, we were interviewing someone who's running for a council in, I believe it's Summerdale, and they purposefully don't keep an officer past about 2 years, and apparently the leadership lets them go and doesn't even let them stay, from what we were told.
Yeah,
And I don't understand that.
we were just hiring, training, then they would move on to another department with better pay,
Sure.
better facilities, you know, and things like that. And they're so taken with the facilities that we built and with the leadership that we've chosen to lead the police department, we have very little turnover anymore.
That's good.
Something I was thinking about when you said retainment, not a public safety retainment per se, but retaining young talent and young families. That's something I think a lot of cities need to really look at. And where I'm from, it seems like people grow up, they go to school, and then they move away and go to college and never come back. So what is your city doing to kind of keep the families to come back here, or to get them to stay in the area? Because I feel like a lot of cities really do struggle with that.
Well, I think that the things that you've seen going on in Picayune the last 5 years is a start in that direction. I have a daughter that lives in Knoxville, Tennessee, that was raised up here. I have a daughter that lives in Dallas, Texas, that was raised up here. But they would always ask, what is there for us here, you know? And so those are the things as mayor of it and the council that we're trying to address. What will keep you here? Well, you know, and we really reach out. When I became mayor, I started a mayor's youth council, and that's students from the high school. They come here, and what are your ideas? We're talking about starting a senior advisory. What do you see here? What do you want here? You know, and so we look at a lot of avenues. They want places to shop. They don't want to have to drive, you know, an hour away to get a pair of shoes, for instance. You know, they don't want to go an hour away every time to just go out and eat in a nice place. Those are things we've reached out to. Right down by Walmart, a Chick-fil-A, new business.
I saw that, in the old
Great
Rockets.
business, seafood place. They come from miles around to come there. We have a lot of good restaurants downtown. that people are coming to eat at and everything. So we not only look at it from one direction, we look at it the quality of life issue, which is parks, and what we have in those parks. For instance, we put splash pads in, I think, let's see, last year, 3 of our parks got splash pads. We have one at Friendship Park, our main park, and we're putting restrooms where there was no restroom. We don't want you to have to go an hour away to go to a nice park.
Yeah.
Or to a place to eat or a place to shop. So we're working on all that. This I-59 North Frontage Road, I call it an economic corridor. It's going to create jobs, create taxes from sales tax and things like that, so we can better build these things for the future. So we're just constantly looking for ways to make Picayune more attractive, but we reach out to our citizens a lot. What do you see? What do you want?
I'll tell you one thing that I noticed. So my mom had to have a sextuple bypass, and so she has heart problems. And the last time she had an episode, this was just a couple years back, and she had to be transported all the way to Hammond.
Yeah, there you go.
Why is there nothing here?
Yeah,
Picayune for people. I mean,
and that's a good
for a certified retirement community. You would hope that you would have a world-class heart unit.
Right. And so everything you're mentioning is the things that we are working very, very hard to address. Why go an hour away when you can have it here and keep people at home, And so I think it's a start. We've been in, our administration has been in 4 years. We're starting our 5th year, and we're just looking for ways to, move our city forward. And whether it's medical, whether it's schools, whether it's
there's so
people
much.
are looking at medical, as you say. They're looking at your schools. They're looking at your quality of life things that we're creating. Even City Hall. Or rundown police department or rundown City Hall. That's not very attractive to people wanting to move here.
Yeah.
Things for their kids to do. There's a movement now trying to create a skate park in Picayune. Now, people had skate parks years ago, but now it's starting to come back in. And so
we have the steps of the Baptist Church over there.
Yeah, there you go. Yes. So people are looking for things, but I think the great thing about this administration, because we have a great council, is we're reaching out to see what the citizens want, and if we can get it, we work hard in that direction.
And any voting citizen can ask for is communication, transparency, accountability from their administration. And that's what we harp on.
And I think you have to have a good Facebook page letting people know what's going on. Events. Yeah. We have a great lighting ceremony at Christmas time. We open up City Hall and decorate City Hall and invite the citizens into City Hall, even the mayor's office. Last 2 years, we have a Christmas pilgrimage and they come right through here. And I greet the people as they come through the mayor's office. We have probably one of the greatest 4th of July celebrations down at Friendship Park, firework display, lots of things to do, petting zoos and all that. Things for people to do.
Yes. To
take their kids to. I think that's what people want. Is it perfect? I can't say that it's perfect, but we're working as hard as we can every day to try to make it better.
Where do you see Picayune in 10 years? What is your vision for Picayune in the next decade?
I think, Picayune is known for New South Old Charm. That's the slogan that we have with our city emblem, you know. And I think that, Picayune will grow, but I think we have to grow it, I don't know, respectfully, slowly, not to the point that it turns into New Orleans or some big city or anything. That's not our goal. We want to keep that hometown charm,
Sure.
the old South charm here in Picayune. A good, safe, crime-free environment with a top-notch police department, things to do, and I can see us slowly growing each year. They're building subdivisions. They're talking to us and permitting and zoning about new business. I think steady growth, but I don't think we give up that charm and crime-free environment that we've enjoyed for all these years. I think it has to be done, kind of respective, but we don't want to be a big city that invites big city problems.
Yeah. Sure, exactly. Yeah. So, do you plan on running for another term after this one?
Oh, I don't know. We'll wait and see.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been mayor for 4 years. I enjoyed every minute of it. I think that I was destined to be a public servant. Mm-hmm. I've worked in our schools. I've worked as police chief, city manager, and now mayor. We'll just have to see when the time comes. If the folks are ready for a younger vision, I'd be okay with that. I'm fine with that, because we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
You don't often hear somebody in your position say that, so that's
well, I truly, and you know this from in the schools, I've always worked with kids my entire life, and I think I'll know when it's time. And I think there's some younger people, even on the council, coming behind me. Mm-hmm. And I think new ideas, being innovative, creative. I don't want them to forget about Jim Luke. Sure. I want to keep my legacy and all that, but we moved the city forward. But I would be perfectly fine with seeing a younger person when I'm ready to give it up, to take my place and carry it to the next level.
That's awesome.
So,
we sure appreciate you speaking with us today. It's sure been a pleasure.
Nice to meet you.
Congratulations on all your success.
Well, thank you. Being elected, I'm only the second mayor, and I don't even know if I said that while we were talking, but I'm only the second mayor in the history of Mississippi that's won the Excellence in Government.
Well, that's amazing.
Award. I was awarded by the governor, Governor Tate Reeves, that in December for 2024, the mayor of the year, and only the second mayor in history to achieve that honor. And then further from that, it was picked up on, and I was honored in the House of Representatives in Washington, D.C. by Congressman Ezell. Same thing, honored me being the top mayor of Mississippi for 2024. So, yeah, I'm a blessed man.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.